Welcome to Put a Word on It, a podcast presented by Men of Valor. In each episode, we're going to talk with a different man, but each one with a unique journey from brokenness to freedom. I'm your host, Rudy Kalis. I spent over 40 years as a TV sportscaster, then retired and joined the Men of Valor program as a volunteer. So join the conversation. Reconciling men to God, their families, and society. Welcome to another edition of Put a Word on It, brought to you by the Lee Company. So thankful for all of their participation and their help to our program. Leonard Smith is the man I want you to enjoy and spend a little time with today. I got to know Leonard at River Bend. When I started there 4 years ago, he was in the classes that we were holding. Boy, he was opinionated, had that big smile on his face, but he really made you study, really made you dig. He's been through a lot in his life and many things that just put him in a position to be ready to make a difference in other people's lives. He is out now. I think you'll love listening to Leonard. Oh, man, Leonard, I love being around you. I mean, the first time I walked into the group over there at River Bend and you had that big smile on your face, man, it's just something special about you. That was quite a while ago now.
Yeah, it's been a while, man. It's good to see you.
But you know what? I never really know the whole background of your story. You'd be very open and honest about your life. Where'd you grow up?
Yeah, I grew up in Chicago up until I was about like 13, 14 years old. Yeah.
And then from there, what, here?
Yeah, actually, my mother and father made a decision to send me to Nashville to live with my grandmother.
Why?
Growing up on the south side of Chicago, I had a tendency to kind of just get in trouble with little kids around the neighborhood and stuff like that. Nothing serious and stuff like that, but just, mischief and stuff like that. And they just didn't want me to go down the wrong path, so they figured that I'd get a better education in Nashville. So,
wait a minute. So you come to Nashville, but you did go down the wrong path. What happened?
Exactly. And that was nothing. That was, well, I can't say it was nothing to do with the shift from Chicago to Nashville, because you got to understand, I've got 6 other brothers and sisters. So to be snatched out of a family setting and sent somewhere else to where you feel like you're a stranger, and even though my grandmother loved me to death, and my grandfather did too, he was the founding pastor of 14th Avenue Baptist Church in Nashville, Tennessee. Yeah. And so, they surrounded me with the love and the wisdom and knowledge and understanding of Christ and the Bible, but it's still that emotional and psychological trauma that you go to at that age, not really feeling like you fit in. Because I came here, I had a lot of cousins, and from my brother. My father has 2 sisters, and they have kids, so I had a lot of cousins. But to see them growing up in a family setting, with their mother and father, and me not really doing that, it just made me always feel like I was an outsider. And so that psychological trauma that I, went through at that time, after I went to counseling and stuff like that in prison, as a matter of fact, shout out to Miss Center. and she helped me kind of unpack some of that stuff, because, you never really think that has an impact until you revisit it. And so that's what I did, and found out that it kind of was a springboard for other stuff that.
Well, was some of it running with the wrong crowd? You're trying to fit in, or was it stuff just on your own?
Running with, it's that whole thing of trying to be accepted. It's that whole thing of trying to be accepted. And it, like you said, it all goes back to, the being snatched away from a family setting in Chicago and sent to Nashville, and trying to be accepted, trying to be loved. And yeah, definitely running with the wrong people when I graduated high school and went on to college. And just trying to fit in with just trying to fit in and trying to be loved and trying to be accepted, and got caught up with the wrong crowd.
How did it wind up turning criminal?
Well, drugs and alcohol played a part in that. Obviously, I was young, and, I was in my 20s and early 20s. And I just had a baby, about to have a baby, and just that added pressure of all of that you try to look for outs and stuff like that psychologically and mentally, and drugs and alcohol gave me an outlet. And, before I know it, I just got too caught up in them, just using.
Wow. How much
Yep.
time did you wind up having to do?
I had I got sentenced to a 35-year sentence in 1992. Yeah,
Wow.
35-year sentence. But it added up more because, like I said, even I was telling Kurt about how God's grace and mercy was on my life. I only wound up doing maybe about, I guess, close to 7 years on that 35 at Turney Center. I got to Turney Center in 92, and by 1999 I was paroled.
If you don't mind, I mean, 35 years, did you steal or did you,
No,
or anger?
all armed robberies without a pistol. I would say, you know what I mean? Never owned a gun. I don't know. I mean, that's kind of ironic, isn't it? A robber without a gun.
Put your hand in your
Yeah,
pocket or
yeah,
something?
yeah. Paper bag, old school, like they do
Oh,
on the
my
movies. James Cagney type stuff.
But when they throw you in there, does something part of you go, whoa, what did I just do?
Absolutely. I mean, when you're just living for the moment and trying to, get the next high or get the next fix or whatever, and the money was quick and easy, and I would feel like I wasn't really hurting anybody because I wasn't hurting anybody. Nobody ever got killed or anything like that, but it was the number of robberies that I committed, which was a lot. I didn't know it was that many until they gave me an indictment with all of that on there. And yeah, it was quite a few. So
I do know from your story, you turned to Muslim for a while, didn't you?
yeah, I got it.
Were you looking for something?
Yeah, like I said, it's still that whole acceptance thing. It's still that whole acceptance thing, trying to, fit in, trying to, be a part of something.
See, but by the time I met you, you were at River Bend and you'd become a Christian. How did that happen?
It had a lot to do with Stu. And I mean, I share this story with him all the time. And, you could tell him that we talked about it again in his interview. Me and Stu used to go at it, and I was still Muslim at that time. And, they were still having services and stuff at River Bend for the Muslims, that.
Yeah.
And so I used to just go at Stu all the time, man, about his faith, about.
Well, he's pretty hardcore and you were hardcore. I'd have to just sit back and watch you two go after each other.
Yeah, and I used to go at him. When I was in Islam, I used to really go at him, and I said some pretty hurtful things for a person in his situation, and went back to the cell that night and couldn't sleep, man. I just couldn't sleep. It was like, the Holy Spirit within me, I'll say that now, didn't know at the time, but, it just convicted my heart, man. It just convicted my heart. And I got up that morning and turned on the TV, and Creflo Dollar was preaching about the unconditional love of Christ, and anybody can get it. And I just decided to accept Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior.
But what I saw was the consistency of your walk, and that's led you to be able to get out. And now you spend time here at Men of Valor, and you're walking the walk, and life is good. Newly married.
Yeah. I got tired of being a fornicator.
Had to do it right, marry the woman of God's choice for you.
Yeah, she's a godsend, man. She really is. She is a godsend. She's from Seattle, Washington area, up in that area, and she's a registered nurse. Been taking care of people and helping people for 40 years. So she's definitely. God will send you the right person. You know what I'm saying? Because she definitely have to keep me in check.
All right. Well, we put a word on it. That's our program. You've had a chance to think about it. What do you got for me?
Man, gratitude. Gratitude all the time. Grateful.
Grateful for what?
Man, just grateful for God's grace and mercy in my life, more so than anything, because there's a lot of people who got out with me in the last couple. I've been out almost 3 years. And within that 3 years, I lost a lot of people that I've known, that was close to me. And a lot of them went back to prison too, as well, So, God's grace and mercy in my life has just been extended from, I guess, the time that I was born. I just had to realize it. So, and I never was grateful until now, So I'm really grateful for all the things that he's done in my life and all the things that he blessed me with. And could it be better? Absolutely. I don't live a perfect life, but I do strive to be the best person that I can be every day. So,
Well, I was grateful to have known you in prison, and I'm even more grateful for the man that I see now living a wonderful life. So I appreciate you, my friend.
hey man, I appreciate you all the time, man. It's good to see you sit down and talk to you outside the chapel at
Hey,
Riverbend.
Chaplain Riverbend. We spent a
Yeah.
lot of time there.
Yeah, spent a lot of time, like I said, doing filming
Yeah.
different programs for, NBC News and all kind of stuff. Just crazy.
You're a great spokesman for the good Lord and for your own good. So appreciate you, my friend.
Hey, appreciate you too, man.
Well, there's Leonard. I hope you enjoyed him. I love his smile. I love his company. I love being around him. He gives you a big old bear hug. And I love the word gratitude for him. I can understand that when you think of all the things that he went through. As I told you, and as you saw, he's a thinker. He evaluates. That's why he went through several different things and religious stances and beliefs until all of a sudden Jesus Christ became the Lord of his life. And he's consistent. It's one of the biggest things he always talked about in prison is be consistent, because they can watch you and they can see. And I see the consistency in his life now. It was a real pleasure for me to spend time with him again. Thanks for joining us. Join us again next time as we put a word on it.